All right, so I'm on y'all ass today, man. Today is my third day clean from alcohol, so I'm just spazzing on y'all ass today. I might as well knock a couple good videos out while I got the energy and shit. So this video is about the difference between California politics and Minnesota politics. It's about the way that gangs move in California and how they operate with their politics, and the difference between California and Minnesota gangs, rules, politics, functions, and shit like that. So it's a lot of popular rappers that's coming up right now, like X4, you know, my nigga Savi Third. You got a lot of people, you know, Baby Stone Gorillas, shout out to them. It's just a lot of different people from California that's kind of buzzing right now and up and coming. It's motherfuckers. Of course, California been like a hub for music since probably like the 80s, you know, with like NWA and all that type of shit. But I noticed a lot of differences, like listening to like Whack 100 on Clubhouse, you know, seeing the little YouTube videos, Christopher Lovejoy, Mr. Five Crip Mac, all they ass, like, and you could just tell, like, to us it's kind of, it's not weird, it's just a little different. Like, I agree with a lot of California politics, but then it's like some of that shit be kind of janky too, because it's like the streets everywhere is weird nowadays. Like, if a nigga got enough money, he could kick it. That's how the streets work nowadays. You could tell on 100 people, you could get marked out, you know, marked out in California, marked out. You know what that means to us? Marked out is like basically like treating a motherfucker like a bitch, like just talking crazy to him, doing them bogus, mistreating them. You know, and it's like nowadays in the world, it only matters about how much money you have. It don't matter like what you did in the streets, none of that, bro. You could rape somebody, you could do anything. As long as you got enough money to feed the people around that would potentially hurt you, they're gonna protect you and they're gonna allow you to hang because you're feeding them. Now, same thing with 6ix9ine. 6ix9ine, after he snitched, he still was going to New York, shooting videos, kicking it, going to the projects, doing all type of shit. Why? Because he's feeding motherfuckers. So they don't give no fuck about him snitching because he ain't snitch on them. So that's how you know the streets is dead anyway, because niggas ain't honoring the overall universal street code. Niggas is selective politicking. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just weird as hell. And it's like, the difference between Minnesota and California as far as the gang lifestyle and the street lifestyle is, California still has some form of structure, if you ask me. Like, California still got big homies. They still got older niggas who could come to their hood and kind of tell them what to do to a degree. Like, yeah, the young niggas, of course, everywhere around the country, they kind of rebel, they kind of reckless, wild, they do whatever they want. They don't really respect authority. That's kind of universal. But California is one of them places that was always built on structure and big homies and little homies and all that type of shit. So you got niggas who getting out of prison in California right now, they coming home and they laying down law. And it's like, yeah, we could be like, oh, the young niggas gonna wild out, they gonna nail them old niggas. But it's like, man, these old niggas is killers. And yeah, some of these young niggas is too, but it's like these old school niggas, motherfuckers still got that respect because they was doing this shit way before we was. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, they still have that big homie, little homie structure. They still have organization, because the way California functions, they still have gangs. They got cliques within gangs. Like, it might be the Rolling 60s Crips, for example. Inside the Rolling 60s Crips, you're gonna have different generations. You're gonna have the OGs, then you're gonna have like the middle-aged niggas that's like 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Then you're gonna have the young niggas that's like 15, 16, 17. You see what I'm saying? So the young niggas, they little circle, they might call themselves score gang. The middle-aged niggas that's like 28, 29, 30, they might call themselves back block. The older niggas is just the older niggas, but they all 60s. You see what I'm saying? They all Crips. They all from the same gang. They just have subgroups within their gang, right? That's how California works, right? They still do the Blood Crip, 18th Street, MS-13, the Insane Crips, and Rolling 20s, they still have all these gangs. The Blood Gang, Black P Stone, the Brims, 5 Deuce Hoovers, 7-4. They still got all gangs, right? Minnesota, in comparison, is like the opposite. Minnesota has every gang that everywhere else got, pretty much. Bloods, Crips, GDs, Vice Lords, Stones, Four Corner Hustlers, Mickey Cobras, you name it. New Breeds, all that, right? But more Midwest gangs, because Minnesota's in the Midwest. It's close to Chicago, so the majority of the gangs we have come from Chicago. Other than that, the Crips and the Bloods in Minnesota came from California in like the mid 80s, early 90s, and that's where the Bloods and Crips come from with that shit. But as far as Minnesota goes, Minnesota is ran and dictated by cliques. Cliques are not gangs. Cliques are small groups of people, maybe ranging from between 15 to maybe like 40, maybe 35 people in a clique. In this clique, this is the difference between a gang and a clique. In this clique, you will have Bloods, Crips, GDs, Vice Lords, Blackstones. You'll have every gang within this group of 15 to 35 people. They don't care what gang you are, right? In Minnesota, a Blood and a Crip will be best friends. A Vice Lord and a GD will be best friends. You'll see them together every day. They hang out, they kick it, everybody cool. No one gives a fuck about your gang. In Minnesota, motherfuckers only care about what clique you're in. So what part of the city you're from is going to determine what cliques are in that area. In that area, you might got 10 different cliques. So like Minneapolis, Minnesota is the biggest city in Minnesota. Minneapolis is divided pretty much as far as the streets go by north and south. The north side is the most dangerous side. It has the most cliques. But it's all divided in two sections. You have the highs and you have the lows. The highs have 15, 20 different cliques. The lows have 15, 20 different cliques, but they're all under the umbrella of either the highs or the lows. The highs and the lows are enemies. This is well documented. This shit all on the news. This shit's federal indictments, all type of shit going on, right? I never say no policey shit, but if it's public record on my kids, I'm gonna say whatever the fuck I want. But you got all these cliques. So like the highs have like YNT, Taliban, Trey, Free Shots, SOD /EBE. You got motherfucking, I think I said Taliban, DT. You got ENB. You got Double L. You got all these different groups that's even affiliated with the highs, like some of the younger guys from Brooklyn Park, Minnesota, which is like a suburb to Minneapolis. It used to be real sweet out there, now it kind of got rough, you know, because they start intermingling with the north side. Everyone like is really afraid of the north side. That's the worst part of the city, which is where I'm from. So you got like all these other cliques and shit that just kind of inherit beefs because of who they want to be friends with. So Minnesota goes off cliques. No one gives a fuck if you're a Crip, Blood, GD, Stone, none of that. Motherfuckers gonna ask you like, hey, ain't you from the highs? Ain't you from the lows? Ain't you from the east? Ain't you from the west? You know, and that's another thing, like St. Paul, Minnesota is the capital of Minnesota. They got their own shit going on out there. To us in Minneapolis, St. Paul is like a whole nother world. Like we get lost out there. We need GPS every time we go out there type shit. Like, so they beefs, they got their own history. They got deaths and prison sentences and murders and shootings and fights and stabbings that happened in their history that we know about somewhat, but we're not from there, so we're not all in their politics, right? Same way Minneapolis do. But it's all about your clique. No one gives a fuck about a gang. You know, California still kind of goes off the whole Blood, Crip, and all that type of shit. So that's really the difference between Minnesota and California. It's just like we don't give a fuck about gangs. California still does. Minnesota has no structure. It ain't no big homies. It's a big homie in Minnesota is a motherfucker who put in the most work. Like whoever really is them niggas that really stood over shit, really just clapped shit up, really just put in work, like they active, like they really get like that, they really like that. Them is the niggas, they not no big homies, but technically they are because they have more say so. Like one of them niggas, ain't nobody gonna try them or play with them from they hood. Niggas gonna honor their word and listen to him really, because this the nigga who was known for nailing motherfuckers. So if he come through the block and be like, man, y'all ass out here, y'all doing this, y'all doing that, niggas ain't finna bug up or try him because they know what he capable of. You see what I'm saying? And this one of their homies. So that's how that go. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's still no structure, because it's like, you a try a little nigga be so thirsty to show you he ain't no kid and he ain't to be fucked with. He'll nail an older nigga just to prove himself, like, nigga, this ain't that. But now it's like an internal beef, because now you done nail one of your own homies trying to prove seniority or some type of pecking order or some type of authority, you know? And it's a lot of backdoor shit. You know, that's why I hate they made that backdoor shit even popular, because why is it cool to snake out somebody that's supposed to be your homie? This supposed to be the nigga that you beefing with other niggas with, not y'all going against each other. You nowadays, you got to worry about your homies and the ops. You don't know who to trust. And it's just like, again, that's why this street shit is old. Like, I'm retired, gang. Like, I'll pull my guns out the suitcase if I got to. I'll come out of retirement for any reason a motherfucker want to play crazy. Like, I'm always gonna have it in me, but at the end of the day, I don't move like that. I'm older now. Motherfuckers got more to live for. Motherfucker done been through everything the streets could offer. And once you get to a certain age in the streets and you get to a certain level, you understand that all this shit been a trap and a setup from get-go, right? And at this point in life, it's like nobody's done. We all know this shit's a setup. We know what comes with the streets. We know what's gonna happen. So it's basically a bunch of niggas running around with guns, killing each other, and basically being like, man, I know I'm gonna get killed one of these days, or I'm gonna end up in prison forever, but fuck it, gang. It's like, it's goofy as hell, gang. Like, wake the fuck up. Don't you got a mama that love you? Do you got a bitch? You got some kids or something? I just feel like niggas just live their life like they have nothing to live for. I guess a lot of motherfuckers don't. But I just love nowadays, black people are so conscious and so intelligent and aware now of the government, the system. We're aware of this type of shit. Like, we know it's a setup. So whoever continue to fall for the setup is just a goofy. I'm gonna end it like that, man. Like, comment, subscribe. Please comment and let me know y'all thoughts on all these videos I'm doing. That way I know, like, really what to talk about or what y'all want to hear more about. Or if y'all want me to elaborate on something, just let me know. Like, I'm trying to build my platform up just like these bitch ass niggas. Let me in the door. I'm a real one. Like, these niggas be janky as hell. Every YouTuber, for the most part, that I've seen get some type of fame from YouTube has got exposed for some reason. And that's why a wise motherfucker, I forgot who said it on YouTube, he was like, man, if you got any dirt on your name, do not get on YouTube. Don't try to be a podcaster, because it's gonna come out. Y'all could look my shit up. My shit 100. It ain't no mystery in my history. Fuck you, man.